Hmm? Oh, I didn't see you there. I was just here farming my wither skeletons with this cool powered spawner I recently made. And you may be asking, well, why are you farming wither skeletons with this cool new powered spawner that you made? The answer's pretty simple. I want more hearts. The orange heart canister here, we need a lot of orange hearts. Basically everything else we've already done. Totems of Undying, we summoned evokers with the Roots Ritual. Relic apples are just a lot of stuff we already can make. And red heart canisters, these are all very easy, but necrotic bones are something we need a bit more of, and these orange hearts only drop from crafted by withering souls, or some bosses that we are not really capable of dealing with at the moment. The Ancient Entity and the Watcher come soon, but the King of Scorchers is just not worth our time to try farming for. So, I'm here farming wither skeletons instead. I originally thought I was going to need a lot more of the powered spawners, so I made 4 of them. I don't think I'm going to need that many, but it might be good that I have it all. Like the battery's empty. Perhaps I should have been using my cleaver. Oh, and of course, welcome back to Divine Journey 2. So I've actually decided, if we're going to go collect a bunch of wither skulls to fight a bunch of withers, we should probably get a proper cleaver. I have a couple issues with this one. It doesn't one-shot things, it's really slow, and I feel like we probably just have better materials at our disposal at this point, given we have just about everything in the materials log here, except for things kind of near the end of the game. I think Thaumcraft and like Mana Steel and stuff like that is, one, a good ways out, but also not really worth our salt and bothering with. You know, Thaumium's good, but it's not that good. So after looking through the book for a bit, I've ultimately settled on these pieces. I believe most of these are fairly new to our arsenal since the last time we made this. I'm going for an Evil Infused Sword Blade, which is old. Black Quartz Tough Rod, which we did not use. I'm not sure if we had access to it. A Restonia Tool Rod as the Hearts modifier is really good because it increases damage based on your health, and we have a lot of health, obviously. We're going to get even more soon. Red Large Plate is just another writable mechanism, so that we get an extra modifier. The Evil Infused Large Sword Blade, the Evil Aura doesn't really matter too much, and it deals a lot of damage, so it's a great sword blade. And the Black Quartz Tool Rod we're using, because Devil Strength is bonus against non-overworld mobs, we're primarily going to be using this on wither skeletons, presumably, so great. And Crude 2, which is bonus against unarmored targets, also wither skeletons, and honestly most things that we might want the head of, I would imagine. So I'm going to put that together, and we'll take a look at it when it's done. Oh, that's all done. Now we've got our pieces. I guess we put together our very evil-looking cleaver. Thinking if I want the black as the crossbar or the hilt. Thinking I want it as the crossbar. Alright, so I guess first and foremost, let's see if this can actually kill a guy first try without any modifiers. Moment of truth. Ooh. Does look like... Oh. Oh, this is not writable. This is shocking. Oh. Hmm. If you have haste, that'd be one thing, but it doesn't. We may swap that out for, like, paper or something, then. Oh, I see the issue now. It was actually the large plate. That's a, that counts as a head, I suppose, for cleavers. I guess that makes sense, because it shows up here. Oh, it shows up down in the extra, too, so I guess it just depends on the tool. So let's find, actually, that makes me curious now. If something like Manulin might be good, in which case our old cleaver might not have been as outdated as we had thought it was. Ooh. Extra 5 damage, 1000 durability. Plus, look at that. Look at that beauty. That is just a nice looking sword. That is just cool. Minus the Z fighting at the top there, of course, but you know. Alright, so next we're just gonna throw some mending on this, and I think a whole heap and ton of beheading modifiers. I need to make some more toolkits, of which we actually did recently get access to our diamond toolkit, so we can get a third extra modifier on it. Ender toolkits seem to be a bit away. These advanced ender alloys. Yeah, we're stuck behind Osmiridium and Steaming Restonia. So there's a bit to go with that. I would like, ideally, hopefully, to get Steaming Restonia maybe today, though. So, I mean, maybe it won't be too long. Well, actually, that's not true. There's more to it than that. There's the ender ropes and Osmer. Laser drills are probably not on the docket today. Alright, so here's what we've got. It's pretty much the same thing. We put all the toolkits on it, so I'm going to throw on an amelioration tome for auto repair, a little bit of redstone just to make it a little bit faster, and the rest of it I'm going to load up with beheading, which I forgot to grab. Just like that. Why does beheading just ruin the sword? That looks so much worse! Oh my goodness. Like, you can barely see anything now. You just see the frickin' ender pearl. You don't even get to see the evil metal underneath. That's so disappointing. Oh well. It should still suit our needs nicely, though. Let's give it a whirl, I suppose. One-shots. Still drops a lot of wither skulls. Swings a little bit faster than I used to, I think. Should, at least. I would hope that's it would, with the redstone on it, right? I would hope it does what it tells me it does. Yeah, I guess I'll be doing this for just a short little bit. In this round of withers, we actually got ahead a little bit. We made ourselves this witherproof box here. At least hopefully it's witherproof. If it isn't, then it's going to be like a hard cut and a funny, you know, perfectly cut scream. Oh, no. Sorry, boring for you guys. Well, bad news. I thought you get 3 withering souls per kill. You only get 1. So I guess we're only making 2 more hard containers, but it's 2 more than we had. There's a quest we'll get once we get all 10 of them, but I think that's just going to be something I do in the meantime if I've got time to kill while waiting for stuff. So I'll worry about that later. With today's sidetrack fully done, though, I think we should talk about what we're actually planning on doing today. Last time, to recap, we got Elevadium. We finished up this section with the atomic reconstructors, more specifically the empowerers. That setup you can see over there has been doing very, very well for us. Besides that one mishap with the crystal bundles at the very end, we were actually basically fine for the duration of making a boatload of the stuff. We have about 200, so about 4 stacks almost done right there. And we've had this, actually, that I've been wanting to finish off that batch. Increase some of the buffers and some of the drawers to effectively allow me to just craft 6 stacks of Elevadium at a given time. So that's good. Beyond that, other stuff I did last time, I put this together. It's a simple, quote-unquote, setup just for RF powder and GP powder. It takes inputs of the various dusts, the crushed quartz and the crushed diamonds from over there, puts them in here and makes GP powder, takes bottles of enchanting bronze blend from over there, bottles of enchanting from over there, and brings them in here with a thermal conductor rod. We are taking some liquid XP from the export bus over here into this pressurized tank, where basically whenever possible, we just take the thermal conductor rod out and run it through this thing with mending, which fixes it and throws it back in here. So the rod has yet to break, we have yet to run dry on GP powder, and it's been working pretty well for us. I might change the buffers to 2 stacks at some point, but so far it's been fine. Some buffers I have increased were steel and dark steel. Steel is just now a full drawer. We just have 32 stacks of steel at any given time. Dark steel has effectively become what steel used to be to us, so I've bumped this up to 16 stacks. I believe just about everything else here has been mostly fine, though. If anything, I think we're actually running low on ender pearls. Oh no, energetic alloy and vibrant alloy also increased to basically let me craft a full batch of crystal bundles at a given time. Yeah, with all the things we've been crafting, though, we've actually been running fairly low on ender pearls. We're down to about 320 when last time we had about 1,000. So that's not ideal. The hope is that we have a sudden lack of need for that as we continue through this chapter, more specifically the top left section of this chapter, which is what we're going to be working on today. This cosmic alloy into ultimately the lithium and steaming Restonia lines. The main reason we want both of these is for lithium. I think gives us a couple things here and there that are just nice to have. The super battery from Mekanism, I forget exactly what it's called, is really nice, and I would like one. I would like a very big battery because we're going to need to store a lot of power soon. Plus, it's just nice to have a big battery. It makes me feel nice. I like having multi-block batteries. Steaming Restonia is a vital component for the next section. Obviously, we're going to need them for these generators down here, or at least this one. But more importantly, we need it for the laser drill, which unlocks iridium for us, which unlocks osmiridium for us, which unlocks interfaces. And interfaces will change literally everything. Once we have interfaces, I will never be crafting anything again by hand, almost. And I will be much happier because the amount of things I will be able to do will increase substantially. And I love being able to do more things. But of course, it all begins with Cosmic Alloy over here to begin the Steaming Restonia and Lithium stuff. So let's start with that. I've made a bunch of Elevadium actually for this purpose because, if I'm not mistaken, quantum alloys are 5 parts atomic alloys and 4 parts Elevadium. In such a manner, why am I flying? What was that? Oh, is it because I'm holding Elevadium? Am I crazy? What was going on there? Alright, sure. Well, there's our stack of Cosmic Alloy, which will start us with, let's see, preparing for the winter with a resistive heater, turn energy into heat for the Thermoelectric Boiler, which is probably that, and Thermal Evaporation Brine, or the Thermal Evaporation Plant to make brine. So I'm going to check something real quick and I'll see where we're going first. Alright, so a little bit of reading. Ahead, what we're going to need for Steaming Restonia is this DT fuel. We need it to actually steam the Restonia. We need steam as well, which is from the Thermoelectric Boiler, which is the top quest of the 3 that we have access to. DT fuel, we need deuterium and tritium. Deuterium comes from an electrolytic separator and heavy water, which we can get from an electric pump with a filter upgrade on it. And tritium comes from a solar neutron activator activating lithium, which is going to come from lithium dust, which comes from brine. Suffice to say, we need to get our brine, we need to get our filter, and we need to get our boiler, so we don't really have a great option for where to start if we want to rush Steaming Restonia, which we do, ultimately. In the efforts of making the resistive heater here, which hasn't been too difficult actually, just a little bit of what I'm going to be complaining about shortly. In the efforts of making this resistive heater, I have gotten excessively tired of all the microcrafting of all of these machine frames, I gotta say. Okay, first quest down of the day. Well, second actually. I've gotten excessively tired of this, and I know I'm making the right decision with rushing interfaces, but we have one last thing to do before that, unfortunately, so just gotta get through the end of it. So I'm thinking, given that we're making 2 multi-blocks and what's likely going to be a very large area, I think we probably shouldn't be doing it in this already packed little factory floor we've got here, or I guess warehouse probably. So I'm thinking the next place we should do big things is probably going to be over here, actually. We haven't gone this way in quite a long time, and this feels kind of just like big multi-block central, and I mean, that's what we're doing again, right? So I'll come back here once I've made some progress with a build site. I originally made this axe just because it could also be a hoe, but this thing is crazy. I'm not even vein mining, it just does this. Like, look at that. Crazy thing. Just obliterates trees. Well, we've got that just about finished up. New wing seems pretty good. I'll probably have another entrance coming off this way. Here's what we're looking like so far. It's a big gray box, you know? It looks great. I'll put a roof on it once I have a bit more kind of figured out about the place. I think the upcoming solar neutron activators are going to need sky access, so that's something I don't want to paint myself into a corner with. I think I'm going to have the steam boiler here. The 2 thermal evaporation chambers are going to be here. And this is probably where I'm going to have the solar neutron activators and stuff. And I'm thinking I might knock this wall out and put a ship back a little bit before putting in the setup for the Steaming Restonia we're going to need. But of course that all hinges on the fact that we are at that point, which we're not yet. So I guess we gotta build ourselves some boilers and 2 of these thermal evaporation controllers, because we're going to need 2 of them. Well, it looks like it's a solar eclipse today. That's cool. Let's get a little ambience, huh? And look at that. Ain't that cool? Cool stuff. Let's get back to the thermal evaporation chamber. After running the numbers a little bit, each controller, given that it takes 6 of these thermal evaporation blocks and each valve takes 4 of these, we're going to need about 102 of these thermal evaporation blocks, which is going to run us back about half a stack of Elevadium, which is honestly not as bad as I thought it would be. So this shouldn't be too hard. The only real difficult thing here should be the quantum disks, which is not hard at this point, given that basically all the hard parts are done for us. There's no machine casings involved, which, I mean, that's the great part, right? Yeah, so we'll be back and hopefully be setting those up before too long. And just like that. Oh, man. 2 of them. Tepid brine. Ooh, get some atomic alloy out of it. So next we have to, let's see, we're putting the water in the plant, and then we take the brine that we get out of the first plant into the second one to get us liquid lithium that we rotary condensetrate into a gas. I guess we're uncondensating, right? Evaporating, if you will. And then we run it through a crystallizer to get lithium dust. Looks like they're giving us some more blocks, which, a little late, but that's alright. Let's go get this thing set up. So we got 2 of these yellow boxes here that are effectively just kind of like placeholder markers for us. So I think we just kind of set it up like so. Right now we only need to do 3 tall, so just like that. And then we put in a evaporation controller, which I suppose we can set right here. Oh, it looks like it's already on, right? The temperature seems kind of hot. And then we take a valve on the back. There. We're probably going to want a valve over on this side, because that's where the brine's going to come out. And we'll set up the second one as well. Another controller, and then we'll put the valve, let's move this actually. Let's swap these around. Controller there, block there, and then we'll put a valve here. So then what we should be able to do is, if I throw like an unending bowl on this, I think would work. Let me grab one. So either it'll automatically take, or, yeah, we gotta use an actual conduit to put it in. So let's set this there, extract blue, insert blue. It should be taking water and very slowly making brine, because as it stands where we currently are, it's not very hot here. So we're getting a little bit of brine, so then we can take the brine and throw it into, well, we've got to take it to a few places, because we're going to want sodium for later, and we're going to want liquid lithium. So I think what we're going to want to do is set up a tank to start. I think brine is a fluid, right? Yeah, it can go in buckets, so we can put it in a tank. So I'm thinking maybe we use a fluid disc for this. I feel like that might be the right thing to do. We'll put an import bus here into a disk, and then we can export the brine into here whenever we need it, as well as to a given separator should we ever need to do that. I'm checking through to see if we need salt for anything, like at all. Ooh, garlic bread. I don't think that's actually super necessary. I think we can probably get enough salt. Looking through the recipes for brine and stuff that uses it, gaseous brine we need for salt eventually. We're going to need the sodium for industrial leather, chlorine. I think we do something with this. Hydrogen chloride, which we put into here to make our shards to 4x our ores. Or quadruple our ores, I guess. Or processing them from the slurry. So we're definitely just going to want like a buffer of brine. So I think the play is definitely fluid storage. But certainly this is not going to be a suitable amount of brine. We're going to need a lot more than that. Looks like the, I've got quite the internal capacity though. What is that, 700 buckets? Holy. Yeah, so I'll run an ME connection over here and then we'll figure this out in a moment. New day, new P2P connection. Yeah, so now this should be importing, provided I throw in a drive to our fluid section, of which we of course have several. So we should be able to toss this in. Oh, it's taking pink slime. Oh, that's not good. I know how to get that out, actually, so that's fine. We're going to make this fix a little bit easier in the future by setting a terminal here. So that we can extract all of the pink slime. Then we can take out this disc, which is taking meat now, which is annoying. There we go. Now it's properly partitioned for brine. That is annoying, and I hope to have a better solution to that in the future. For today's purposes, however, that is fine enough, as we can plug in our export bus here with brine, and it should just start pumping into here. Yes, and it will slowly burn into liquid lithium. Great. Now we need our rotary condensator, which I don't believe is too bad. I think we've made one of these before. I think we made it for HDPE. We could cannibalize that one, but I don't really see a purpose in needing to do that. HDPE setup as it stands is already fine. That said, it looks like it's going to take a handful of crafting steps to make this, so I will be back shortly when that's all ready. And there we go, there's our condensator. Alright, so we've got some conduits hooked up, taking the liquid lithium that comes out of here very occasionally and decondensating it into normal lithium. I was considering having a drive for this on the network, but we only really need it for two things, both of which are going to be right here. That being tritium, and we're going to crystallize it into lithium dust. Both of which I think we're going to do in this little box-ish area. I think we might need multiple activators, maybe. I'm not certain. But we should just be able to run some gas conduit around here and take it to where we need to be. Oh, slight issue. The activator needs this advanced induction cell, which we actually are going to want to make a lot of these. Well, maybe not a lot, but an amount of these. Which takes these basic ones, which takes the lithium ingots, which comes from lithium dust, kind of, assumedly, right? So we actually do need the crystallizer first before we can even look at this, which is fine. I mean, that's not too big of a deal, realistically speaking. We just gotta take it one step at a time. So this seems like it really should just be no sweat. Should just be able to put in, turning into, yeah, the gaseous. So we want gaseous input there. So it looks like it pumps in all well and good. The only real issue now is that we don't have a lot. And the bottleneck here is seemingly brine, as looks like it needs 10 brine per lithium. Yeah, it looks like it won't go below 9. And we need more brine from this, which I believe is fine, because I've got this resistive heater that should do the trick. But I think I also need another valve, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, only through a valve. So let me go make another valve then. So we just throw a valve right here. The heater, like that. It's using power. That seems to be rising temperature, so I guess just down on any side. And then I suppose energy only comes in from this one side. So, I mean, I definitely need to run power over here, but I guess after I do that, then I'll figure out exactly how this works. Just play it right in. So it looks like we can change the usage exactly. I wish they had a bit more information about this in the quest. Oh, maybe they do. Nope, they don't. Well, so let's... What if we try 41? Does that change... Okay, that changes the power usage, which changes the heating exactly. So this is producing at 0.28 now. And this should be going up to... That's at 300 Kelvin. This is still rising, interestingly. What if we throw in, like, let's say like 80? 80 doesn't feel too bad. Also doesn't really raise the temperature a whole lot. What's the production at? Half a millibucket a tick? Certainly rising, and a lot more than I would think for what this is worth, right? Like, this is only 300 Kelvin. This is going significantly above 300 Kelvin. Oh, our first lithium dust is coming in. Wonderful. I should probably also hook up some power cables to the rest of these machines over here. I guess I'll kind of just stare at this for a little bit and come back once it seems to stabilize. It seems like it's leveling out around here at about a millibucket a tick. And this seems to still be catching up, maybe? Or is this just... It looks like it's just shy. The rate of production is not great, but I guess we don't really know our exact needs at the moment. So, I mean, we'll figure that out shortly, I'm sure. Oh man, induction matrix coming soon? That's gonna be really nice. I do love me the induction matrix. Just a big old battery. Big battery with big numbers. So then we just need to make the activator here, which is going to need some induction cells, which I think needs like a lot of lithium, right? We're going to need 4 of these basic cells, plus nothing in particular. So 16 lithium? I mean, it doesn't seem to be slow. Just kind of got to wait for a little bit. Doesn't seem like it's going to take too long. Yeah, it doesn't seem too slow. It definitely looks like brine is outpacing lithium, though, which I don't think is a problem, right? I suppose we can lower the cost on this a bit. Maybe we make a second one to put it on that one. Is this still around that kind of 1.5 range? It's going down a bit now. And this is just going to be something I'm going to have to keep staring at, and I'll babysit this, and hopefully once I've decided it on something, I'll come back with a bit more confidence in my chest about what to say about this. But I threw a resistive heater on the back of this one too, and it seems like it's making liquid lithium a good bit faster. The condensator almost has full uptime on its usage, and we actually just made our 16th lithium, so let's go make that induction cell for our activators. Just like that, solar neutron activator. We should be able to just take this activator, throw it here. Or do I flip it? Yes, we flip it, swap it to orange channel so it can insert the lithium, right? It should be on round robin. Okay. Right? Right? I figured it out. By I figured it out, I mean consulted the wiki, like a smart individual. Needs to insert on the bottom. At least supposedly. But that doesn't work. I'm going to look like a real bonehead right now. Great! And this seems to be working at a pretty good rate at that. So we can leave those both on orange, and it should round robin. Seems to be producing tritium at a suitable pace, which is good. Alright. So then, that's tritium. That's the tritium half. Next, we're looking for deuterium, which is our filter upgrade here. I actually have this going right now, so let's go take a peek at that in just a moment. Simple quest. Easy peasy. Then we need a mechanism pump, I believe it is. What's it called? Electric pump. So electric pump. Oh, it's that looking thing. It's not too bad. Just a couple things that put together, a couple clicks away. So that should, we just pull it from water if I'm not mistaken. I'm taking the, actually no, I'm going to take the normal dark ingots because I can just toss them in here. And I'll get more out of it that way. Oh, was that a quest up here? Yes, it was. Oh, a fluid tank. I actually do like that. Not when it's full of meat, though. I'll solve that so shortly. Back to here. So we make a chemical infuser. Oh, we're doing fusion. Alright, so a chemical infuser needs stuff we can actually already do. Alright, well, let me just put all the stuff together. Boom, easy peasy. Fusion, ha! I could never do it as good as Vegeta, or Goku, or probably both of them, actually. Well, it looks like the last piece of the puzzle we need is the actual boiler, which is another multi-block with a whole lot of components to it. But, I mean, how hard could it be given the rest of it, right? Let's get to noting, I suppose. There we are. I was wondering why I wasn't triggering. Yeah, so now I've got the boiler stuff made. We just actually have to construct the boiler. However, I was noticing an issue. So currently I have the condensator here exporting with round robin. The idea hopefully being that, you know, this goes 1 and 1 to each. But it seems that it's not really doing that. If I turn round robin off, it only goes to the crystallizer, and if I keep round robin on, it only goes to the activator. So I read somewhere online that maybe this will do something. How much is this exporting? Pulls out 1. Let's turn this off for a second, just to watch values. It's at 1016, and this is still the only one going up. The issue I'm running into is I don't know how I would really solve this problem. I suppose I could make a second condensator, and then maybe this would do something, but I don't really like that option. I suppose I could wait for lithium to back up fully, which doesn't seem like it would take forever to do, but I don't really like that option either. This is like 10 buckets of lithium, which I suppose is fine, and I suppose the internal buffers are fine, but it is kind of awkward. I guess it kind of depends how much lithium I really need. If I don't need a ton of lithium, then it's not going to be a giant issue. Yeah, looking through the recipes of things that I can use lithium and the Steaming Restonia for, it seems like I'm not really going to stop using either of them over the course of the pack, which is kind of an issue because if I can only really run one of these at a time, that's kind of crummy, to say the least. I suppose I could really ramp up how fast these go over time, just by throwing more power at the problem, which is certainly a possibility. It might be the one we end up doing in the long term, but for now, I think we just kind of have to let this run and hope for the best. I don't really like that it's like this, but I suppose what can you really do? Yeah, this just kind of stinks. If there's a solution that anyone can think of, that would be much appreciated. This one's kind of stumping me because I really don't know what to do here. Besides, I don't think 2 of these would help anything. I don't think running 2 of these would do anything, and I don't really want to set up another 2 plants just for each of these, because I feel like I don't have to. It's just that these aren't splitting as nicely as I would like. Maybe I could use a gas tank buffer, but I don't really know how well that would work. But, as it stands, we're not really running into a huge issue. Worst case scenario, just throw more power at the problem, and I think that should suffice us for the time being. But that's not the problem we have right now. The problem we have right now is we have a boiler to make. Right? Yes, a thermoelectric boiler. So let's put that together. Alright, so this is actually super simple to set up. Basically, just put the multi-block together and then add water, add power. We'll probably need to pull steam from this side. Well, I say probably as if I'm not going to. I'm going to need to pull steam from this side, but I think we can just do that as a fluid. So maybe we'll run that through applied energistics. Given that this is just water and power to make, I'm really curious as to, because I remember seeing this, the turbine conversion for steam dynamos. I'm really interested in seeing if Mekanism Steam works for that. I might try that in a creative world, because this seems to be the only type of steam in the whole pack. So maybe it all just kind of combined into one. They all just sort of said, we're going to use Mekanism Steam. Everything's going to create Mekanism Steam. I'm not certain, really. Ooh, there's a cool graph. That's neat. Yeah, right now we're just kind of waiting for the temperature to rise. I'm not certain how hot I'm going to have to take this thing, but I'll just kind of babysit it over time. And I guess I'll start with just take it to 80. And we'll see where this goes. Again, also just something I'm going to babysit over time. Just like this and this, which seems to be netting a little bit positive brine. But most of the lithium is still going to the activator here. And lots of babysitting for all of these machines over here, it seems. But I suppose that's fine. I'm only going to have to babysit them the one time, theoretically, hopefully, please. Oh, Mekanism, oh, Mekanism. You and your sided machines making everything look all gross and disgusting. This is quite the suboptimal setup, I feel, but I mean, it's the one that works, unfortunately. Yeesh. Look at all this cable gore, man. Terrible, terrible stuff. I'm sure we'll clean it up over time, though. So now we're making deuterium. We're going to dump the excess of oxygen, and then we should be able to just take out red, insert red. There's deuterium. And then this is lime because I don't do anything on green. Let's do extract green. Insert, or extract lime, insert lime. No shortage of that. DT fuel, alright. I believe this is still a gas, so we'll pull out on purple into this PRC. Insert on purple. And then I suppose we'll do, so let's see. Gases, input on the left. We'll do out the, our fluids, yellow out the back, that'll be our steam, and not really any great places to put item input, unless we had like a dual bus, but I don't think we have anything like that. No. Yeah, we don't have any like dual interface or anything like that. So, oh, why is that any map big? That's weird. I'll think about this for a second in terms of how specific I want to do things. Plus I need to wire up ME connections. Also, it keeps raining all the time and I can't get over it. I can't stand this rain. Here's the almost finished setup. Once again, same thing with lithium going to both of these. This will make the lithium dust. We'll put a drawer on top of this shortly. This makes our tritium. This pumps heavy water from these two water sources using the filter upgrade to turn it into heavy water. This electrolytically separates it into deuterium and oxygen, which we're just dumping the excess of. Deuterium and tritium combine in this chemical infuser to make our DT fuel. And that will shortly thereafter come into here. We're importing steam on the back with this fluid export bus. And Restonia will come in from the bottom here, once again with another export bus. We just need to hook the whole thing up. Which I'm actually out of cable, so I need to go make a bunch more ME cables. And then, after that, hopefully, it just works, and we have Restonia, or Steaming Restonia. So let me go pretty this up and grab some more cables, and I'll be back with you to hopefully see its maiden voyage. Alright, so we should just be able to put Restonia in here, or rather, filter Restonia to be allowed coming out of there. Or, no, that's correct. So input items at the bottom, right? I thought we had Restonia in the system. I suppose I will double check. Silly mistake. It's not Restonia we're putting in here, it's empowered Restonia we're putting in here. And it wasn't accepting it because it's not a valid item in that machine. So then if we turn this on... Did I supply this machine power by any chance? Thinking I didn't. Put that there. And Steaming Restonia, that's our first one, alright. Let's throw an item conduit. Oh, I suppose here is fine. Let's make this so items can output on that side. Let's replace the conduit so it can register that in inventory. Extract red. Let's grab a drawer. Alright, drawer. Grab our key. Lock it. Downgrade it. And insert on red. Extract. Grab some of these, throw it in there. Red rice, red rice. I don't know what the reference is, but I'm sure it's there. Oh, and we can also totally feed the DT fuel back in. So I should actually... gases... let's outport that on the bottom as well. Because we're going to need to fill that back in, actually. No, it's not on the bottom. It's on the left side. Which is... Oh! Shoot. That's an issue, isn't it? Let's turn this off for a second. Let me think about where to export, because I don't think I can do them both on the same side, right? No. I can't just like auto feed it in, so I have to figure out how to actually feed it into itself. Well, it's certainly not one of our prettier setups, that's for darn sure. We're finally using these ME conduits, which the pack says don't use a lot of them. We're only going to use the 2, and hopefully it doesn't break. They say they don't carry channels properly, but I'm really hoping that I carry them well enough. Oh, and it's raining again, because of course it is. Yeah, so we're just slapping an export bus, or a storage bus, excuse me, on the back of each of these drawers. We moved the gas connection to be at the back, and these to be out the side, or the fluid export bus to be out the side. So we should be able to just kick this back on now. And it does still get power. Does still get steam. I think it's cycling out the DT fuel whenever it can. Oh, there's so many noises around here. We're going to turn this off of round robin so it starts going into... No, it's... this one needs to go on off of round robin so that it mostly goes into here now. Because lithium is the one we're short on now, more than tritium. Deuterium is currently our bottleneck here, plus we have a lot of DT fuel. But, hey, that's our first bit of Steaming Restonia. Check that out, huh? Look at that cool texture. It's steaming in my hands. But more importantly, let's see what my crest word is. I get steam for the boiler, DT fuel for the... Steam is considered a liquid, and DT fuel is a gas. Recommend automating each step the best as I can. I think we've done a good job at that. We've got this basically entirely done. These thermal evaporation plants have been super easy. Basically just put them down and add fluids to the network. Lithium has felt pretty easy. We just, well, as easy as it gets. Just out of the condensator here and into the activator and crystallizer respectively. Heavy water into deuterium's felt pretty darn easy. Tritium's felt easy, if a bit awkward. Maybe we'll just have to ramp up production at some point just to meet any demands that they both may have. Steam was super easy. Once again, just kind of power and water. Power and water just put together and no big deal. Gets us our Steaming Restonia, which will, next time, offer us the laser drill. And the laser drill unlocks so much. I am very excited to drill for iridium, alloy our osmiridium, and finally get to our interfaces. I am very excited to see how many hours I have in this world by the time I have my first interface. I guess we'll find out next time, right? And if you made it this far in the video, maybe you liked it. Maybe you'd subscribe to a channel to watch more content like this in the future. Perhaps. I of course won't force you to, but it would be much appreciated. Plus you'll be able to get to see all the cool things we'll do with our interfaces next time. Maybe. That will probably happen next time. Maybe the second half of next time. Probably. I don't imagine a laser drill would take me that long. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.